I'm presenting my case study on Randy, and unfortunately, although 8 minutes sounds like a lot, it is very little time. Randy is a 4-year-old in our Anaconda Public School District preschool. He lives with his mother and has no contact with his biological father, and as far as I know, has never had any contact with him. However, earlier this school year, his mother's boyfriend moved in with them, and he has taken a very active role in Randy's life. Randy really likes him, and he serves all the functions that a father would. Randy's other really important adult in his life is his grandmother, who has one of the daycares in Anaconda. He spends every day after preschool with his grandmother, and before going to preschool was with her at her daycare all day long. And last year, when he attended Head Start, he would go there afterwards in January. His mom chose to pull him from Head Start, and so then he went there every single day. Randy has some very inconsistent behaviors. According to mom, all of his anger issues and frustration, such as like clawing at himself when he's angry and things, resulted from his time at Head Start. She also blames Head Start for him becoming a picky eater. Of course, we listen to it, but kind of take it with a grain of salt. Mom says that when he's with grandma, he's very spoiled, and grandma will give in to every wish that Randy has. And so that's difficult for mom when she tries to tell Randy, no, you can't do this. He becomes upset. And we've noticed that at school as well. Mom will often bring Randy in, and when she does bring him in because he's missed the bus, she will take his coat off for him, put it away, take out his backpack and his folders out of it and hang it up, take his Fox, which is the method that we use to check in, hand it to him and remind him to check in. So we just give her a gentle reminder that we're really working on self-help skills and trying to make sure that Randy's independent and encouraging him to do it, or at least try on his own. Randy is very capable and can do it. However, he is more than willing to let mom do it for him when she's around. At times, Randy will have difficulty even when he rides the bus to school, checking in the morning, because he'll put his Fox in there into our safekeepers box, and sometimes he'll dig around and move other kids around and look around to see if they're watching, to see if that's going to upset them and just see what their reaction is. He will sometimes wait for the next kid to almost be there and then slam the top of the box shut, not to let them be able to put their Fox in, and just wait and watch them to see what they're going to do. Some kids, will react. At this point in the year, they don't at all, just because they know he's doing that for a reaction, and then they just walk away and they wait. Randy sometimes will have difficulty when he goes to the breakfast table if he notices his placemat's next to somebody that he just doesn't want to be with that day. It will result in a frustration fit, and what that looks like for Randy is he'll put his head down, he'll get an angry face, he'll cross his arms, and then he'll stomp his foot, and then he'll go like that, and he'll cry and scream really loud, and there's no tears. And so, like I said, it's just that frustration fit, and he's waiting to see if or when the adult will give in. Unfortunately for him, we've been very consistent at school with our predictable routines and procedures, and we don't give in to the frustration fit. So sometimes he'll stop right away. Sometimes he'll push it a little bit longer just to see if I do it a little bit longer, maybe they'll give in. And we just talk about, we're a school family, and some days we will get to sit by our best friends. Some days we'll just get to sit by our other friends, and that's okay. We're all going to be eating breakfast, and we'll all have time that we get to interact with each and every one in our classroom. And so he will generally sit down and be able to start to eat breakfast. The other areas or times in the day that we see these frustration fits are when lining up to go to specials, to go to recess. It could be caused because he wanted to be in line faster than somebody else, or if somebody looked at him and he didn't want them to look at him that day. During winter time, he had gotten a new orange jacket, and he didn't want to wear his jacket outside because he just didn't like it. And so we had to start calling it a coat, and then that would help get him, and I would have to kind of de-escalate him. He has learned that I am a safe adult, and he will come to me when he's frustrated, and I'm pretty consistently able to calm him down when he's in the middle of these frustration fits, I just get down on my knees and I look up at him and I describe what I see on his face. And I will say, I'm noticing that you're upset. Your eyebrows look like this and your eyes are looking like this and your face is scrunched up like that. Remember that, when we're upset or we're angry, we need to be a star. We need to stop, take a breath, and relax. And that comes from conscious discipline. And so I walk him through breathing techniques and strategies. I hold his hand and remind him that when he's calm, he'll be able to use his words and tell me what's upsetting him. And then we can usually solve that problem and move on. He is not at that point where he has other trusted adults yet. My pair has been working very hard at trying to build that relationship with him so that she's able to do that as well. So it's not always taking me away from teaching the rest of the kids. But that's still not quite there yet. He knows if he pushes it just so far with his frustration fit, she'll kind of give in, or she'll turn to me and say, Mrs. Clute, he's just not listening. And that's what he wants. And she's basically telling him that, she can't do it. She needs me to step in. And he'll you can see him smile and smirk, and he knows then he's won. And so we work on, don't talk to me during that time, just keep working at it. And I know it's very difficult, but keep doing that too until he's done throwing his frustration fit, and then he will comply. He has some difficulty during center time. Sometimes it's because he wants to go to a particular center and it's full, and he will do that same thing, get that face, look on his face, cross his arms, stomp, and do that whining kind of cry mixture without tears, and hoping that either a teacher or an adult will step in and have one of the other kids leave, or a kid themselves will say, oh, I don't want to listen to this, because we have a lot of kids who are very sensitive to the noise, and they will leave on their own. All of the adults and the students as well have become a lot better at being firm and not just leaving just to let him have his way. And they'll talk through the process and say, you know what, I'm going to only play here for 5 minutes. And so when I'm done, I'll let you know so that you can take my spot. At the end of center time, he sometimes has those frustration fits as well, because we work as a family to clean up a center. And so if I'm done with the things that I was playing with and have put them away, then I go and help everybody else within my center, because nobody leaves that center until it's completely clean. And so he will get upset if they try to help him because he wants to do it himself, but he will purposely take that extra time to wait. My concerns for him right now is self-regulation and being able to get that under control so that he's successful in future years. He's extremely bright academically, very creative. He can build beyond nobody's means. He knows all of his letters, uppercase, lowercase, and sounds. So his academics are exactly where they should be and beyond. It's just that social emotional aspect for him, that self-efficacy and that self-regulation that concerns me.